I've got 3 reasons why you should be optimistic for the future following the Nuggets win. Come on, rock with your boy. Next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy BScott again. And today's episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use promo code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. And again, appreciate everybody rocking with your boy BScott today. A lot to talk about today. I have 3 reasons for you guys why you should be optimistic for the future following the Nuggets win. Then we're going to look at the pick situation going forward. How many picks do we have, and how much capabilities do we have for the short-term and long-term future in DC? And then we're going to do a preview for tonight's game versus the Portland Trailblazers. So come on, let's get into it. First things first, my 3 reasons why you should definitely be optimistic for the future in DC following the Denver Nuggets win. Now, as you guys know, 2 impressive wins, 2-0 over the Denver Nuggets, 15 wins. But like I said, first things first, we're going to get into my 3 reasons. So reason number 1, Jordan Poole. And the reason I say Jordan Poole is, let's take a look at Jordan Poole, right? What he's done so far in DC, where he's headed, and what's his place in this team long term, right? Well, we obviously know he was acquired, sending Chris Paul to the Golden State Warriors, and he came to DC alongside Ryan Rollins, who is now in Milwaukee, and Patrick Baldwin Jr., who is now, I believe, a free agent at this point. But coming over from the Golden State Warriors, he brings championship experience. He brings a lot of game experience, playing behind Stephen Curry, a future Hall of Famer, Klay Thompson, future Hall of Famer, and Draymond Green, who, you could have a case for that. But like I said, definitely a guy who has been an enforcer over in Golden State. So, Jordan Poole came over here with a lot of potential, man, because like I said, he showed what he could do on a championship team. He played as a 6-man, and then when Steph went down, he started. Now, last year, very up and down season. But I think the most impressive part of his season last year was he took a lot of criticism. He struggled in the first half, but in the second half, they relegated him to 6-man role. He flourished. When Tyus Jones went down with a back injury, he stepped in, he started, and did a good job. And you can say he held on to the job ever since. So Jordan Poole, being a combo guard, can play off ball, can play lead guard. So he brings a lot of capabilities to that. Now, fast forward this season, he has played at an all-star level. Right. And obviously team performance has a lot to do with all-star berths, man, but he played at an all-star level. He became the de facto voice of the locker room. He has taken all of these young guys on his wing. He formed a real close relationship with Bilal Coulibaly. Very early in the process, he was the first guy to call Bilal when he got drafted. I mean, he is officially taking the keys for the franchise. He is the voice of the locker room. He's a guy who, again, he brings experience, but he's still, if you look at his age and the fact that he's about to hit his prime within the next couple of years, man, you got a guy who is a fringe all-star who definitely has all-star potential, a guy who is taking over the locker room as being the voice, a guy who, even though he is the voice, is willing to learn underneath veterans like Chris Middleton, Marcus Smart, Malcolm Brogdon, and Rashawn Holmes. So even though he is the de facto guy here in DC, he has shown that he's willing to learn. He's willing to learn not only when it comes to production on the court, but when it comes to being a leader. So I think that with him stepping up, being that leader of the locker room, well, obviously he has the vets behind him, right? Chris Middleton is going to be a voice. Marcus Smart is going to be a voice. Malcolm Brogdon has been a voice, and Rashawn Holmes, Anthony Gill are voices that are going to back him up. But as far as being the guy, he is the guy now. And I think that when you look in the scope of Jordan Poole, yes, a lot of some people are saying, all right, we should try to move him. But my retort to that is, and would I be surprised? No. But my retort to that is this. You don't trade guys like Jordan Poole. Last year, a lot of people were skeptical. They didn't know what kind of player we had in Jordan Poole. It was 50-50. Half people said, look, be patient. He's going to step up and be that guy. The other half said, look, when he was struggling, said, look, it may take a first-round pick to trade him. And then once he started really stepping up, then they're like, all right, we should remove him for some draft capital. And if you look at the MO, the last couple of years in DC, underneath general manager Will Dawkins, was moving veterans, right? They moved on from Kyle Kuzma. They moved on from, you can't say Tyus Jones, but Valanciunas is another example where they move veterans for draft picks. And we're going to take a look at the draft pick situation in a little bit because, like I said, we have a lot of draft capability going forward. So general manager Will Dawkins has done a great job in 3 areas, right? Which is what? Drafting. All 5 draft picks underneath Will Dawkins are hits, right? bringing in vets either in free agency or via trade, who either A, you retain for mentorship and experience, or B, you can flip them for picks, right? And then the third thing is, when you look at the pick situation, like I said, we're going to look in depth at the pick situation in a minute or so, but we have adults in the building when it comes to the front office, man. So reverting back to Jordan Poole, and my point is, you retain a guy like Jordan Poole. Look at his age. He fits the timeline. He is about to enter his prime. He's already shown that he can be a microwave scorer. I mean, he's an all-star. In my opinion, he's an all-star. And like I said, with the team, in my opinion, the team's going to be better next year. Now, are we ready to make that next step toward the play-in or AC next year? No. But I stand by this hot take, right? 2027, we will be a play-in team. But next year, you're going to see an increase in wins. We already see it. We are already at 15, which last year we were at 15 for the whole season. I believe we can get to 20 wins. So, like I said, when it comes to Jordan Poole, you look at the guy where offensively, you know what he can do. He is a high volume scorer, man. Now it being a scoring minded combo guard, we've seen what he can do off ball. We've seen that he can lead an offense, or lead a team, right? Defense, one of the biggest knocks against him last year. Defensively, he was a lot more polished. This year, he's a lot more polished than he was last year. Last year, and to a certain degree, he was unplayable, especially in the same backcourt. Tyus Jones not known for his defense, mostly known for being a floor general offensively and leading an offense. But Jordan Poole has put the work in. Not only becoming a lot more efficient, not only using his, looking at ways to use his offense to set other people up. He can roll. He's got speed. He can attack the rim. He can collapse defenses, and he set up people on the outside. There's a big reason why Keyshawn George didn't have a good year. Bob Carrington, right? The list goes on. I mean, Corey Kispert has had a pretty good year. I mean, has he taken a slight dip to a certain degree? Yes, but Jordan Poole's using his best attributes, which is his speed, to set people up and utilize that vision. I'm telling you, the move to acquire him from Golden State is going to go down as one of the best moves that Will Dawkins has done, because I think that, again, Jordan Poole is an all-star talent. He has become the leader here in DC, and he's going to help lead this young squad into the future. And I think that, if you want to look at them really hold on to the same MO they had the last couple of years, which is flipping people for draft picks, they have that opportunity. But I think that now, I don't think you have to do that, because not only Jordan Poole, Corey Kispert, obviously you can go back to Denny Avdia, even though a lot of, including myself, believe that we should have retained him. Look at what we have, man. Look at what we have in DC. I mean, so that's what I'm saying. When you look at gray area players like Corey Kispert, Jordan Poole, and Sadiq Bey, I think Sadiq Bey is part of the future. Now, obviously, we're not going to know what we have in him till he officially comes back from the ACL injury and recovery, man. But Corey Kispert, we need the shooting. And I don't think we should relegate ourselves to just one shooter in Keyshawn George. Now, could Keyshawn George be his replacement? Absolutely. And could you see a scenario where Corey Kispert could be moved? Yeah, but to me, Corey Kispert fits certain functions, right? He's a sniper, and he's a great locker room presence, man. He's a guy who's been through this organization from playing to rebuilding. So I think you keep him around. You got him on a cheap contract, just like they had with Corey, Dini Avia. So to me, not only with Jordan Poole, but with Corey Kispert and Sadiq Bey, you keep these guys. You build from here. That's my biggest thing. You build. You don't always have to flip these vets. And like I said, we're going to get into my next point, which is a nice balance between the young core and veteran leadership. But like I said, look, getting back to my main point as far as my first point, with Jordan Poole, you keeping him around, because with his age, with the fact that he's a French all-star, the fact that he's going into his prime, he's only going to get better. And you don't trade players like that away. I mean, you look at Dallas, man, and not that I'm comparing Jordan Poole and Luka Doncic, but when you have a young talent, man, that is just going to get better, you don't trade that talent away. I think that you need to look at an avenue where, obviously, a lot of hard decisions coming up when it comes to retaining Jordan Poole long term. You got Bilal Coulibaly coming up for extension, the last year of the current deal for Jordan Poole, right? So they're going to look to extend Bilal Coulibaly if he, he's earned that contract, which, like I said, he's going to get better, and I think he will have earned that contract. But then if you look at this previous draft, you have 3 rookies, right? So that's 4 young players, and we haven't even talked about Tristan Vucevic. So, before we even get into the 2025 and 2026 drafts, you got 5 players that you prospectively going to have to re-sign to rookie extensions. And that's why I said, not every young part of this core is going to be a long-term piece. Jordan Poole, you keep him around. But looking at other players, Corey Kispert, to me, very affordable contract. Sadiq Bey, I think once you figure out what he, if he still has that bounce to his step, and he comes back from the ACL injury and he's still that guy. I think the three of them are definitely part of the future. So, like you said, getting back to Jordan Poole, I think you keep him around. I think you should definitely look to re-sign him to a long-term deal. Now, are we talking about a max contract? I know a lot of us, man, get PTSD from hearing that, the term max contract. But like I said, if he hits an all-star berth one or the next 2 years coming up, I think you sign him to a long-term deal. Now, right now, I'm not advocating max. Not ready to take that step yet, but I think you definitely sign him to a long-term contract. You keep Jordan Poole here long-term because I think that he's bought in. He's bought into, as far as being a leader here, really taking these young guys under his wing. And look at what he's doing as a player. He's having a career season, and he's becoming more an efficient player, more of a defensive player, more of a player who can score, yes, but who's also using his scoring ability to open up opportunities for other players. So like I'm saying, he is definitely, in my eyes, should be part of the future from rebuild to one day that championship parade. All right, so guys, we're gonna get into my second point of why you should be optimistic for the future following the Nuggets win, which is a nice balance of a young core and veteran leadership. And then we're going to look at my third point, which is win-loss record, because we are progressive from last year. And then we're going to get into the draft picks. So rock with your boy. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by DoorDash. NBA fans, get ready. They swoosh, you save. Thanks to Dash Pass, every time a player drops 50 or more points in a game, you score a huge deal the next day. It's simple. When a player scores 50 or more points in a game during the 2024-2025 NBA regular season, Dash Pass members get 50% off an order, up to $10 off the next day from noon to midnight. So look, getting home from work, don't want to cook, order DoorDash. You've been smoking and drinking, it's Friday night, Saturday night, don't want to leave, shouldn't leave, order DoorDash. There's so many good reasons why you should definitely roll with DoorDash and actually become a Dash Pass member because, again, you get 50% off in order. After what? An epic 50-point performance, right? Celebrate by ordering wings, pizza, or burgers from your favorite spot delivered right to your front door. Fuel your watch party. Planning to catch the next game? Order your go-to snacks and meals at a discount and get ready for a high-scoring action. So, all right, y'all. Sign up for Dash Pass and be ready to save. When a player scores 50 or more points in a game, Dash Pass members get 50% off an order the next day, up to $10 off. Just use promo code NBA50 from noon to midnight after a 50-point game on eligible orders at participating merchants. Must have an active Dash Pass account. Terms apply. Visit DoorDash.com to learn more. Tonight's episode is also brought to you by FanDuel. March Madness is here. Good luck. And FanDuel is giving you the chance to get in on the action like never before because right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's 200 extra bucks to use on anything and everything, from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories and even who's cutting down the nets. I tell you guys all the time, FanDuel is my go-to. I'm definitely going to get very, very active during the tournament. And like I said, they do things like brackets. So there's so many good reasons to get in on action to make money with FanDuel because, again, March Madness, the rest of the NBA season, baseball season is right around the corner. So many reasons to get in on action and make some cold, hard cash. Visit FanDuel.com and get in on the college hoops action all tournament long. FanDuel. All right, y'all, let's get back into this thing. So, give me a second. All right, let's get back into this thing. So, second point of the three reasons why you should be optimistic for the future following the Nuggets win. Number two, look at the roster makeup. All right, and it's only going to get better. Let's take a look at the current roster makeup. All right, so when you look at a young core, I think you add in Jordan Poole because looking at his age. You're going to add in Sadiq Bey, Corey Kispert. I mean, you can probably put them in there as kind of a gray area guy. I really have all three of them as gray area guys where they're still young, but they have experience. So, Jordan Poole, Sadiq Bey, and Corey Kispert have their key, in my opinion, can and should be key contributors for this team going forward. We already kind of talked about all three of them, especially Jordan Poole. So again, get in the comment section and let me know, do you agree or disagree? But looking at the young core, the 5 draft picks underneath general manager Will Dawkins, which is Bilal Coulibaly, Tristan Vucevic, Alex Sarr, Bob Carrington, and Keyshawn George. He hit on all 5 draft picks. He hit on all 5 of them. Looking at Bilal, offensively very raw, but he is already an elite defender. So when it's all said and done, he could be a 2-way 3-and-D defender that you're going to put on the best player on the opposing team. where his defense is going to be elite level. Now, his offense, will he be a first or second option? Probably not. You're probably looking at a third or fourth, and that's fine. I think that works for Bilal because, again, the biggest thing with him is elite defense. Now, the offense, he can put people on the poster. He's still working on that three-point shot in mid-range. The mid-range did look decent. But when it comes to his shooting, I want to see more of an improvement with his three-point shot, higher arc, more spin on the ball. But to me, he is a two-way 3-and-D prospect. Tristan Vucevic, 7-footer who can stretch the floor, shoot from three-point range, mid-range. He's got some swift feet. He's a rim protector on defense, and he shows great promise being, an above-average rim protector. I'm a guy who's really thrives in being a help protector. Rebounding, you see glimpses of him being a really good rebounder. So to me, he is the future center of the future. I kind of said future twice, right? But to me, he's a future, backup center. Alex Sarr. Now, right now, he is center, but he could play the 4. But right now, it appears that center is going to be his long-term position. So, like I said, the biggest thing is versatility, especially once we get into these next 3 players. Versatility is the name of the game, right? Because most of these young guys, if not all of these young guys, can do what? Defend. They can play multiple positions. And offensively, in the case of Bob Carrington, Tristan Vucevic, and Keyshawn George, they're already floors offensively. They just need that experience and those touches to really put that cherry on top as far as their offensive development. And then in the case of Bilal and Alex Sarr, raw, but you already saw huge leaps. Not only with Bilal, even though you kind of a lot more, especially his three-point shooting, but Alex Sarr, he just dropped 34 points. 34 points. Not bad for a guy that people were ready to call bust after 5 Summer League games. Just saying. So he has shown that he has all-star potential. Bilal has all-star potential. You could argue that Bub and Keyshawn George have potential to be above average players, man, to be forces in this league. He hit on all 5 draft picks. All right, let's move on. The veteran mentorship. Malcolm Brogdon, I believe, had played this part. He mentored these young guys. He was great as far as being that voice in the locker room and leader. We know that when he's healthy, he can play, but being healthy has been the problem. But I believe he has had an impact on his young group. It's very unfortunate that he continues to deal with injuries, and he's not going to be here next year. He's probably going to be on another team. And like I said, former Rookie of the Year award winner, former Sixth Man of the Year award winner. I mean, he can play. He ain't no scrub. That is not even up for argument. The biggest thing is availability is your best ability, and he's always hurt. So, but when you look at veteran leadership, Rashawn Holmes, undersized center, right? Very limited offensively, but he's a force in the paint. Getting in there and being very active, rebounding, point paints, or paint points. Got that? You guys know what I'm saying. He brings a lot of energy. So, and like I said, he's been kind of a leader by example, just coming in and having that, playing with a chip on the shoulder, playing like, being that dog, playing with an attitude. You know what I mean? He has shown these young guys, especially Alex Sarr, because I think he's had a big impact on Alex Sarr, playing with a chip on your shoulder. When you 34-point game, you saw a lot more attitude with Alex Sarr. So Rashawn Holmes has had a great impact. Marcus Smart and Chris Middleton acquired at the deadline. Both of them have not only brought defensive intensity, experience, and energy, but some attitude. And I love the attitude they bring, and these young guys are feeding off of that. Keyshawn George, man, and Bub Carrington are a couple of dogs, man. And now you see a little bit of aggression from Alex Sarr. It kind of unlocked him. I think aggression is going to unlock Alex Sarr. Bilal got a little chip to his shoulder, too. Tristan ain't taking no junk, man. So we have a good, balanced team with veterans, gray area players, and young players. That's what I'm saying, guys. And it goes back to the same point that I made with my first point as far as the 3 reasons why you should be optimistic, which is I think you build from here. I think you continue to build. You don't have to trade. I mean, if they move anybody, I can see Corey Kispert. I think they look at Jordan Poole as a diamond in the rough. But again, and that's not this roster construction is balanced. Because when you look at Marcus Smart, when you look at Chris Middleton, even Rashawn Holmes to a certain degree, even though I do think we need to add another center in the draft, out of all of them, because Malcolm Brogdon is not going to be here, you probably look at maybe re-signing Marcus Smart and Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton has a player option, so he's going to enact that player option. Keep them around for a little bit because they're not going to command top dollar. They know where they're at in their respective careers, man. They're not those players anymore because if they were, they wouldn't be in DC. Re-sign them, keep them around. Obviously, they're not going to be starters going forward. The team's going to get younger, but we need those guys off the bench. We need those guys in the locker room. We need those guys to be leaders by example, voices in the locker room. And if you want to build this team, which I believe we're on the road to becoming one, into a championship team, you need those veterans in the locker room. You need those veterans on the pine. You need them on the bench, man. The Beatles' voices and then the show by example. Chris Middleton, going forward, if he stays in DC, obviously he's not going to be a starter after a year or so, but he can still play. He can still be a score off the bench, bring some defense off the bench. I mean, the same thing, Marcus Smart. You see the intensity with him. So look at the roster construction. So, all right, everybody, we're going to get into my third point, win-loss record, progression there. Look at the picks real quick, and then we're going to get into a very brief preview for tonight's game versus the Portland Trailblazers. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? All the time. Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in. Your personal CFO giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all of your accounts, investments, and spending it all in one place. So you can stop just managing your money and start building wealth. It's that easy, guys. If you're somebody like myself who is on the road becoming a small business owner, somebody who's starting to trade a little bit and starting to get into investments. When you want to manage your money, your investments, everything in one spot, one-stop shop, man, holler at Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use promo code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's Monarch Money, code LOCKEDONNBA for half off your first year. All right, but let's get back into this thing. So my third point for the 3 reasons why you should be optimistic for the future following the Nuggets win is look at the win-loss record, right? Assuming they don't lose every single game left on the schedule, this team is going to win more than 15 games, and I think they're going to win around 20 games. And look, for those of you guys who remember my hot take, I say they're going to win 20 games this year. And they slow start, people are like, oh, we might not even win 10. We're going to win 20 games this year. So let's take a look at the schedule real quick. Now, saying that, what does that tell you? That is progress. First 3 years of the rebuild, you want to see progression from every year. Obviously, the biggest thing is what? Getting draft picks, getting young prospects, development, building culture. But you do want to see progression year in and year out. You don't want to see them get worse or stay at the same record, or, you want to see that progression. So when you see more than 15 wins in year 2, that shows you progression. So looking at the schedule real quick, how can we get to 20 wins? Now, this is the last full month of the NBA season. April, they only have 7 games left in a year. So obviously at Portland, I think is a winnable game. At Utah, I think is a winnable game. Home against Orlando, I will be there. Like I said, we just beat Denver. So you can't really look at the schedule and say, this is a win, this is a loss, right? But I'm going to go through the schedule real quick. But any given night, home against Orlando, at New York against the Knicks, home against the Raptors, at the Sixers, that's a win. Home against the Pacers, Nets, Heat, Kings, Magic. Then they go at Boston, at Indiana, home against the 76ers for the home finale, at Chicago, at Miami. Now, looking at the schedule, y'all, they can win 20 games. And then if and when they win 20 games, man, that's progression. You could call it slight, but that's progression. You'll take progression where you can. And again, when you look at the win-loss record, the fact that we have how many games left in the schedule and we already reached the win total from last year, that's progress. That's another reason why you should be optimistic about the future, man. So like I said, I encourage you guys to take a look at the schedule. There are some winnable games on the schedule, man. Portland, Utah, Toronto, I think is winnable. Philadelphia, Brooklyn. Philadelphia again at home in the home finale. So they'll be real nice to end the season at home with a win. So like I said, you guys take a look at the schedule and get in the comment section. Let me know. Do you think they can win 20 games? Because I think they can. So let's get into the draft pick situations, because a lot of people have been asking about what is the current situation with the draft pick. So we're going to start from this year, 2025. And obviously, before we get into the first round pick, we all know that there's that protection that is currently held by the New York Knicks. So I'm not going to really go over that one. But looking at 2025, we have 2 second-round picks, our own second-round pick and one with no protections that we acquired from Phoenix. All right, 2026, we have 1 first-round pick swap with Phoenix. We also hold 4 second-round picks: the Chicago Bulls, our own, the Phoenix Suns, and it's either Minnesota, New York, or the Pelicans, or Portland. I think we have the worst out of the picks, but still 4 second-round picks in 2026, and I believe we have. And you look at prospectively, our own first-round pick. But like I said, the pick swap not too shabby, man. All right, let's see. 2027, we have our own, and we also have, good lord, 5 second-round picks in 2027. Our own Golden State Warriors, our own Brooklyn's or Dallas's, the Bulls, and then the Suns. So we took most of the Suns picks, man, ironically enough. And obviously our first round pick, which is our own. 2028, we hold pick swaps for either the Suns, the Nets, or the 76ers. And we also have 3 second-round picks. So Denver's, which is actually protected at 31, picks 31 through 33, but Golden State's and our own are unprotected. Fast forward to 2029, we have our own first-round pick. We also have the Celtics, the Bucks, I believe, is the worst pick out of all three, the Celtics, Bucks, or the Portland Trailblazers. And we also have 2 second-round picks, the Kings and the Lakers. 2030, we hold not only the Golden State Warriors first-round pick, which is actually protected 1 through 20, but also pick swaps with the Phoenix Suns. And 3 second-round picks, our own, the Trailblazers and the Suns. And then looking at 2031, we have our own first-round pick and second-round pick. So we have plenty of picks and pick swaps. We are in a good position. And that's what I'm saying, guys, is that you build. If you're looking at it from the realm of draft picks, I said all the time, draft picks have what? 2 functions. Number 1, acquire young talent through the draft. Number 2, using it as collateral in a deal for that one big acquisition to help push your team from a AC to a championship team. And that's what I'm saying. Those late picks matter, man, because if you look at the late picks, man, from 27 on up, man, we have a lot of picks, especially second-round picks, but first-round picks too. Like I said, we have first-round picks both in this draft coming up and 2026. So, like I said, 2 loaded drafts, you have 4 first-round picks. 4 first-round picks. And we're not even talking about second-round picks, guys. So, like I said, we're in a good position when it comes to draft picks. Very, very good position. So, that is the draft pick situation with the Washington Wizards. So, briefly, we're going to go over tonight's game versus the Portland Trailblazers. So, as you guys know, we will not be going live 1:30 in the morning. We're actually going to go live 7 o'clock tomorrow night to recap tonight's game, man. So let me pull up for everybody real quick. I'm probably not going to get into my 3 keys of victory, but look at certain factors, look at some injuries, news, and stuff like that. So, all right, looking at it is a 10 o'clock tip-off, man. So I know I'll probably still watch the game, man, but I know a lot of people will have to work the next day. So that's why I put the poll out there. I wanted to ask you guys whether you wanted to do it 1:30 or 7 o'clock. So we're going to go with 7 o'clock tomorrow night, not 1:30 tomorrow morning. Okay, so again, 10 o'clock tip-off. They are in Portland, the Moda Center in Portland, Oregon. So looking at the injury situation for the Wizards. Right now, Marcus Smart is day-to-day with illness, so hopefully he's good, man. Hopefully it's nothing serious, probably a flu or bug. So hopefully he ramps up because we're definitely going to need his leadership and defense. Siddiq Bey, obviously, we don't know right now. It's unclear when he's actually going to make his first appearance in the Wizards uniform. I think he should sit for the rest of the year and come back definitely continue to work in the offseason and start everything out in the training camp and go from there. Bilal, again, is out for the season, 4 to 6 weeks, but that would be definitely the end of the year for him, dealing with a hamstring injury. So hopefully, we all know that Bilal's going to put that work in the offseason. So let's see him come back and really take the next step in year 3. Corey Kispert is out with a thumb injury. So, like I said, definitely look for Keyshawn George to pick up the slack from 3-point range, man, amongst everybody, because we have a lot of shooters on this team. And Malcolm Brogdon, man, again, is out with that ankle injury, and it's becoming more and more evident that he could be on the buyout market, man. So looking at Portland, they got a lot of day-to-day, but they could definitely be available. Let's see, not Jarris Walker, man. This is actually his brother. I'm having a brain fart right now, and my internet's not helping me. Jabari, there you go, Jabari Parker. Not Parker, Walker. Man, y'all be patient with your boy today, man. It's been a long day. So Jabari Walker, man, he is out with a concussion. So, like I said, it is up in the air whether he will be available. Robert Williams III, he is day-to-day with a knee injury. Jeremy Grant day-to-day with a knee injury, and DeAndre Ayton is out with a calf injury. So they said they're going to reevaluate him in 4 weeks. I would say he's probably out for the year. Give Donovan Mitchell the opportunity to see what he can, show what he can do. So some other factors real quick. I'm going to kind of look at areas that, are reoccurring things with us is either issues or strong points. So look at rebounding. They are 15th. We are 17th. So we have to win the rebound battle to have a chance in this game, man. In the paint, Alex Sarr, I think he's shown that when he plays with a chip on the shoulder, when he plays with attitude, when he plays with confidence, he can match up well against the big, not to say the bigger, but some of the best centers in this league. So even though I do expect him to kind of get in the weight room and become stronger, um, when he plays with some attitude, when he plays with confidence, I have confidence that he can hold down the paint. Rashawn Holmes, definitely want to see him bring some energy into the paint. And let's see if we can get some minutes for Tristan Vucevic. All right. Assists per game, not so much Portland, but us. We are 21st in the league, averaging around 25.5 assists per game. So I want us to get back to everybody eats. Team basketball. There's times where ISO ball works and it's warranted, but I want to see more of a team basketball focus, man. Pass the ball around. I'd like to see 2-3 touches at least. Pass the ball around. It was fine. It was fine people for high percentage shots, man. Don't force any shots. Don't hold on to the ball and drain the clock. Let's pass the ball around and find some open high percentage looks, man. Because like I said, with Denver, you saw that. So like I said, team basketball, ball movement is a recipe for success. And if we can do that and play well doing that and get a win against a team like Denver, I think we have a chance against Portland. All right, kind of a quick third key to victory, real quick. Points against, man. All right, so they're giving up 114. We're giving up 120. So obviously we have gotten better defensively, but we're not going to see the improvement that we want to see till next season. So, but this is definitely a game where, look, Denny, man, playing big time ball in Portland, man. So you best believe he's gonna try to drop some points on the Wizards, his former team, man. But like I said, Portland, they're a nice and very intriguing young team, man. Because like I said, Shaden Sharp, Scoot Henderson's playing good ball. I mean, the list goes on. They're a team where they can humble you, and they have a lot of talent. So from an overall energy standpoint, I want to see the energy come out with the Washington Wizards because I think we can definitely get a win against Portland. And then, we got one more game till we hit out back to Capital One. And then I believe we're also, then we go turn around and go back on the road. So like I said, March Madness is a big road month for the Wizards, but and this is probably, I believe we only have 1 or 2 games at home in April. So again, guys, kind of looking forward to this week real quick. And we're going to call it today because I know I've been talking a lot. Monday, today, obviously, they play tonight, 10 o'clock. Wednesday at Utah. Then Friday, I will be at the game, covering the game for you guys. So I'll be getting there on the media side for the Orlando Magic game. Then, like I said, they have a homestand towards the end of March. And then after that, it's 1 game left in April, home against Philly. And that is it for the season. So, all right, guys, we talked talked about a lot today, man. Definitely get in the comment section. Let me know what you guys are thinking. What do you think? Do you agree or disagree with my three reasons why you should be optimistic for the future? And of course, looking at the picks, we're in a good position with the picks, man. So, like I said, we could always add more. Just ask Sam Presti, man. But General Manager Will Dawkins, President of Basketball Operations, Michael Winger, man. I mean, Travis Schlenk. I totally forgot what his title is, but shout out to my man Travis Schlenk. They form one heck of a front office, man, and we are definitely heading in the right direction. We have a nice balanced team. Jordan Poole is ready to take that all-star step. We have mentors in Chris Middleton, Marcus Smart, and Rashawn Holmes, Malcolm Brogdon. We have a really, really intriguing young core, man. So that's what I'm saying. We're heading in the right direction, guys. So keep the faith, and like I said, definitely be patient. We got 1 more year, in my opinion, where it's going to be a rebuild year. And then after that, 2027, this will be a playing team. So, all right, everybody, we're going to go ahead and call it a night. Like I said, I will catch you guys 7 o'clock p.m. tomorrow night to recap the Washington Wizards and Portland Trail Blazers matchup tonight at 10 o'clock. So definitely tune in and show the Wizards your support. Hail to the Wizards and peace.